Okay. No, he's not coming on. Seb, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, yeah.
Ah, yes. One moment. I'll get you on now. There you are. Okay. So, sorry about that, but we got you on in the end. Evening, everybody. Evening, all Arteta out. Yes, I'm not surprised. We're going to get on to Arsenal Fan TV, but it's my brother, Seb. Introduce yourself to everyone on the channel. Let us know what you're thinking of today's games.
Yeah, I think my name's Seb. Yeah, I'm known as Sebiously. So I yak all the time, essentially, in the chat. And yeah, it's good to be on the show. Pretty good weekend of football as well, so.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I mean, it
forward
was what, 5 games yesterday. We'll start off with today's games. Did you watch? I watched the Arsenal Chelsea game and I watched the Man United Southampton game, but I didn't manage to watch the Spurs game. So I'll maybe catch the highlights of that later on.
No,
but it seemed quite boring.
That was just a penalty anyway, so.
Yeah. It was the first 10 minutes. But let's start off with the Man United game. Did you watch all of that?
I watched all of it, yeah.
What did you think?
With the United game, it was United started off well. I was expecting them to just rout that 3-0. But Southampton nicked the goal. It was lucky, massive deflection off Fred. And United then equalised through Greenwood, who's quality, obviously. And then United just kind of gave up and took the draw.
Yeah.
And to be fair, Southampton could have won it.
I think Southampton should have won it. I think they should have. Yeah. Armstrong won it. They played the ball through. It was beautiful how they passed it all through.
Yeah.
And then he was one-on-one.
Armstrong, I don't know if he's championship standard. I think Southampton could be in trouble this season.
I don't know. Them two seem to quite work well up front. I thought that, but they created a lot of chances against Man United. I think they'll get goals. I was just surprised with that finish though by a striker, number 9 striker. It was like it looked like a left back or a right back was finishing it. It just didn't look like a striker was finishing that.
It looked like I finished it, to be fair. But it's one of those where it was a good save by De Gea, but it was also a terrible miss. So.
Yeah, it was a good save. I totally agree. I mean, did you see that header as well? And then he should have scored the first header from the corner. This was later. It was about 10 minutes after that chance. And then it went to like a Southampton player at the back, and then he messed up the header. They could have scored that as well. And Man United didn't really have a chance.
Yeah, Man United got the equaliser, and I was like, oh, okay, this could be like 3-1, a normal kind of Southampton collapse. And yeah, Man United just didn't. I mean, he brought on like McTominay, and Ollie's the problem at United. That's the weakness.
Well, I think the weird thing is that Donny van der Beek. I don't know why they bother to have him. Because even Lingard gets in ahead of him. Lingard was just got back from holiday and had coronavirus, and he still gets ahead of Donny van der Beek.
Yeah.
He hates him. What's he done?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's like, done something like Wilfried Zaha did, where he went out with Moyes' daughter or something like that.
Maybe. It's got to be something, or he nicked his lunch or something. Well, he nicked his lunch one day or something like that.
Yeah, his sandwich or something like that. He's like, well, I'm not playing you again. But it's weird because Donny van der Beek is great. That's the thing. He's a great player.
Great. That's a strong.
No, I mean, he is a great player, and I think he's proved it. And he's got that kind of Ajax background as well, so he knows how to play football. Yeah. And the worst thing is, it's not the fact that he's trying to get out Toni Kroos and Modric out of that midfield. It's like McFred.
Yeah, it's not the strongest. Let's see what they're saying. Reece76 Smith. Yes, James. Yes, Seb. Wagwan, my G, get in there. Yeah, nice to see you. Can you see these messages? Yeah, we were just talking about the football. We'll always get around to the messages, guys. Always giving your thoughts and opinions. At the moment, we're just going to do a quick review of the 3 games, and then we're going to show you yesterday's games. A few highlights in for yesterday's, all the goals, and then we'll just give you our analysis. This is like the James Rich version of Match of the Day, First episode is with my brother, so it's it should be a good show. But yeah, I mean, I honestly think people will say this is controversial, but I think Southampton deserve to win that. Mainly because of the second half.
Yeah, but I think if Ollie was a better manager, Man United would have won that.
I mean, they got so much talent.
Southampton were there for the once Man United equalised, they should have set up and gone for the game. Instead, he brought on McTominay. He kind of set it up like very conservatively, like, yeah, we'll do this. We'll get this done. And it's like, you've got to be bold as a Man United manager.
I mean, And he's still got Rashford out as well. I mean, I don't think he knows what his best team is. If that was me,
No.
I mean, what's his formation? Because I don't know how they play it.
He plays like a 4-2-3-1. But
Yeah, like Pogba's playing on like the left, isn't he?
And then he drops. I mean, Martial was playing today, a bit useless, but didn't really get too much of a service. But Greenwood scored as well, but he stuck him on the right. And it's like, just play Greenwood up front.
Is Cavani injured?
I don't know.
Is he not even on the bench? He must be if he's not even on the bench.
Yeah.
Yeah, he must be. I mean,
Sancho came on and didn't do too much.
I don't really like. I don't know, John. Did you watch the one with Josh that was saying that he doesn't really like Sancho? I mean, I know it's a bit early just to write him off, but I don't really get why they signed him because they don't really need him.
No,
they need someone like Lukaku.
Especially if you're going to keep Lingard and James as well. And obviously Sancho is better than those two, but you've got like
Greenwood and Martial.
Great players in those positions. You've got players on the bench as well as reserve players as well. He's got about 6 or 7 players. And if he plays Paul Pogba on the wing as well, it's just like 75 million for a player. And he stuck him on the bench now for 2 games on the bounce.
I think Pogba played. I mean, obviously he didn't play great today, but there was glimpses of him that it's just like, he's just a baller, any Paul, on the pitch.
The problem is with Pogba is, I think it's his final year of his contract, isn't it?
I
think he's playing for a move.
Yeah, it is.
That's the thing with Pogba. There's a little bit of a thing about him where you think, I think he's just playing for a move to get that PSG move or Real Madrid or whatever.
I think it's PSG.
United's done. Yeah.
I mean, I was saying to you earlier, who's the worst ever Premier League signing, and we'll caveat that into the Arsenal game. Who's the worst ever Premier League signing? And we'll crack on with Arsenal now. Let's just have a look at their teams. I mean, what's happened here then? Hello? Oops. What have I done here then? I've got rid of him. Don't know what's happened there. I'll get my brother back, but just one moment. I don't know what's going on here. We were talking about Arsenal, Chelsea. I'll try and get my brother on. I must have pressed the wrong button or something. I don't. I look like an idiot now. I don't know what even button I pressed it, and it just went bang. Let me refresh. That always works. There we go. There you go. You know, if you can't figure, you always can figure something out.
There we go. I think you left.
No, I pressed a button. Sorry, and it would just. I don't know what button I pressed, but it's all back to normal now.
Pull the plug, mate.
You don't get this on Match of the Day, do you? This type of great content. But yeah, we were talking about Arsenal.
Yeah, but then you get Danny Murphy and Jermaine Genius just talking about how to put their socks on, or I'm wearing bloody this fragrance today. It's like, I don't really care what Danny Murphy has to say about Arsenal. It's not funny.
Yeah, I mean, Arsenal today, that's what we were talking about. I wanted to get the Arsenal team. But let's just quickly go. No, we've done Man United. We've got to press on.
I'm bored of Man United now. And
United is so inconsistent. They're so inconsistent.
Yeah. I mean, one week they'll what was it, 5-1 against Leeds?
Yeah.
And they were clinical. Like, Pogba was on one. And then today, they just ran out of ideas.
Yeah, they did.
I honestly do think that if they played another game there, it still would have ended 1-1.
Let's see what the guys are saying in the chat, because I've been speaking with Seb and that mess up. Twitch chat lagging today. Kemi Tyber, Reece Smith, you sound like my dad in the family group. Is anyone there? Evening, Fred. Nice to see you back. Reece, 4-3-2-1. I think Dartford FC are going places. Maybe we do a show on Dartford FC. Come on, Reece. He's back again. We're going to have to put on Troops, because I've not even seen his reaction to the Arsenal game.
Troops is good.
Liverpool are going to win this league. Kemi Tyber's been reading my articles, you see there. Liverpool are going to win this league.
Be conservative on that. I'm not too sure. Just play it game by game. Be the dark horses. I think as soon as you doubt Liverpool, they turn good. That's the thing. As soon as they lost the Champions League final, they came back and then won it. As soon as they finished with 97 points to Man City Centurions, they came back and won the league.
Well, you're a Liverpool fan, aren't you? So obviously, what did you make of last? No, we'll go on to Liverpool later. We're not going to talk about Liverpool.
Yeah, we'll do.
We'll talk about Chelsea and Arsenal. So Chelsea won. It was a comfortable game. It was men versus boys, really. Like Chelsea
it was like Chelsea playing against their own academy.
Yeah, it was really easy for Chelsea. And that Reece James, he must have got man of the match, I would say, Reece James.
Yeah. Well,
He
I've
had
got
an
him on
absolute
fantasy
field
football
day.
team as well.
Yeah, he's
He
going to
got
be
knocked out. He got knocked out as well, and then got
put in
recovered and then
performance
carried on with the
otherwise.
game.
Yeah, he definitely got man of the match for me. He was brilliant. Lukaku was pretty good, to be fair. He was bossing about around the Arsenal defenders.
Yeah. Well, he had this thing where he kept on backing into Mari
Yeah.
and then turning it. And it was pretty good, to be fair, what he was doing. But you get the sense that Lukaku is nowhere near match fitness. He was still in first gear. And to me, Arsenal were that bad that a Lukaku who looked knackered by 60 minutes was able to still run rings around them.
So you reckon? I mean, I was going to say who they're playing next, but it's Man City. I was going to say, do you reckon it'll be 2-0 to the opposing team with the Arsenal game? He's love losing 2-0.
No, I think they're going to lose about 5-0.
Yeah, I think that's what everyone. I mean,
it's going to be that bad.
Well, maybe he might even get question marks over him being sacked if he gets battered 5-0.
Yeah, the thing is, I think Chelsea once they went up 2-0 up Chelsea, they just went, yeah, we're done here, and just conserved their energy. And I honestly do think that if Chelsea wanted to score more goals, they could have just done it.
I was saying
a couple of good saves.
I was saying to my friend, I mean, I like Chelsea, and if you've seen the show, I've been pro Chelsea, and I expect Chelsea to be banging at the door all season. But if they're not banging at the door and they're out of the title race by Christmas, Tuchel will be sacked. And they're getting a new manager. Yeah, they got a hard start. And the problem Chelsea have got, and there's no answer to this, is except for Lukaku, what other player have they got that's going to get like 15 plus goals a season? Because Mason Mount could do it. Mason Mount could step up, I suppose, because he's good enough. But it's a step up. It would be a step up for anyone to do.
Though, Mason Mount.
Yeah.
No one else is going to get the goals, but Lukaku could get 30. That's the thing.
Yeah, he could, but you can't rely on him.
No. But also Lukaku doesn't tend to get injured either. So I reckon he'll just be a freight train all season.
Yeah, he might be a good
It's a good point, though. Whereas Man City, they probably got about 4 or 5 players who can get 15 plus.
More importantly, Liverpool. They got Jota to add to the last time. Jota's always scoring.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say Fabinho.
Mane and Salah. Salah looked great yesterday. Mane looks like he's back to his best. But Jota is just, I didn't realise he was such a good player. Well, when we signed him, I thought, good signing, solid bench player.
Handy.
It's got to the point now where you think he's starting to break up that front three. He's preferring him instead of Firmino. And he's clinical. Like, he doesn't really miss opportunities. He can be quiet sometimes in games, but you give him one chance and he scores it. And I didn't realise he was that good. And
he's good. How much was he?
Doubled his value.
How much?
40.
Yeah, that's pretty cheap. I mean, I always thought, I liked him, but I always thought Jimenez was better, but he got injured, didn't he?
Yeah.
And
they got that Pedro Neto as well, haven't they? Wolves now.
I mean,
he's pretty good.
That'd be an interesting player that could replace Harry Kane if Kane is to go to. Because now what's our analysis of Arsenal Chelsea? That was just men versus boys, garbage. Yeah. Now we'll talk about the Spurs.
I mean, that could have been 6-0 if they.
I didn't even think Chelsea were that good.
Yeah, no.
I didn't think Chelsea were that good. Like, it wasn't this is a masterclass.
I think it was a tired Lukaku. Lukaku's going to get better. He needs about 4 or 5 games to get going. I mean, that's his first game since the Euros. He hasn't had any preseason games.
Yeah, but he's just naturally fit.
You get the sense that if he was fully fit, he could have easily scored a hat-trick.
He looks a lot a lot leaner at this time at Chelsea than he was, say, at Man United as well. I think he'll do really well for them, to be fair. I just don't think they should have signed him. They should have got Haaland, but we've spoken about that
a lot. For 100 million, it's a lot, but he's going to score goals, but also I think he suits their system really well. So he'll just hang there up front, and they've got all the creative players that surround him. Like a Lewandowski at Bayern Munich. Quite similar, in a way.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you said he wants to leave. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Liverpool are going to win the league. Yep. Klopp's had a laser eye surgery and lost the glasses. It's like Clark Kent turning into some Scouse Superman.
Yeah. He's done his teeth, his hair, and now his eyes.
Has he?
I think eventually we won't recognise him. Yeah.
Lukaku's the missing piece of the puzzle. Maybe, but I think the other piece of the puzzle that I've evaluated is they need some goal-scoring midfielders. That could happen. Yeah. I'm not saying it can't happen. It could happen.
I think they still need another centre-back, though, because Thiago Silva's getting old now. Christensen's okay. Rudiger's good, but he can get injured quite a lot. And who else have they got? Kurt Zouma, I think's off. I think they need another centre back.
Okay.
Because Thiago Silva could just flick like a switch, couldn't he? And just turn into old man mode. Because
Yeah, I mean,
he's
he's
coming, I think he's
old, isn't he?
37, which is old. I know it's Thiago Silva, but still, that is old.
They got Christensen, Azpilicueta, they got enough, and they got Trevor
They
Chalobah.
got yeah, maybe.
They got Trevor Chalobah, so they don't need one. They'll probably get that Koundé. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, but I don't think they'll go out and buy anyone this summer.
But let's move on to Spurs then, because Spurs have won again, 1-0.
Yeah.
Doing all right. As I said, we're talking about what you're saying there. 150 million for Kane is mental. Is it though? I think Kane's better than Lukaku.
I'm going to be controversial here, and I know everyone thinks that City need Kane. I don't think they do. For 150 million, they don't need him. They can make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, in my opinion, they don't need Harry Kane because they have Jesus and they've got a bunch of wingers that can get 15 goals apiece. The problem is with City is they'll just simply buy Kane because they can.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They don't need him.
They do need him. I think they do need him. I mean, I used to argue this with you. I think Liverpool needs a proper striker as well.
Yeah, but Liverpool have two players capable of getting 25 goals, don't they?
Yeah, I know, but there's some games where you just need that type of player in and around the box.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I'm not too sure on because Liverpool always play that false nine as well with Firmino. So I think if Liverpool were to get another goal scorer, it would be like a Mane or a Salah. It would be another winger, like Jota, not necessarily an out-and-out striker.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see Haaland or someone like that. Mbappe would be good.
Yeah.
But I've just been told...
I don't think Liverpool will sign those, though.
I've just been told, actually, Seb, that we won't be able to put the highlights on because we'll get a strike on Twitch. So we won't... and they're from the official... It's pretty cool nowadays. Remember, if that had that when we were kids, if on YouTube you can watch the games right away after the match, and they're all on the official YouTube channels. So you can check them out.
They're pretty quick with it. Yeah. They're pretty quick with it.
I think we can watch Arsenal Fan TV. I think that might be alright.
Yeah, you might be alright with that one.
But I don't think we can do it from like the Liverpool official YouTube channel.
I think it's because £8 max. There you go, by Reece.
I wouldn't give a fiver for him. Where's David Beckham gone? He's out in America anyway, with Inter Miami. He's making with Phil Neville as his manager.
That's not going well. I think they're losing like every game at the moment.
Really?
And they got like Matuidi and Higuain. It's like how
they got Higuain.
They got Higuain, and they got a couple of other players as well. And you think
he can't be that old.
You should be winning this. I mean, Bradley Wright Phillips is the greatest MLS player of all time.
Higuain can't be that old. Is he? I swear he's about the same age as Cavani.
34
or something like that. Yeah, he's not that old. Nah. He's there. I thought he'd like...
The thing is, Higuain, he's never really relied on pace or anything like that. He's always been a kind of an old man striker.
Who did he play for? Was it Chelsea? Chelsea.
Chelsea loan
wasn't very good, was it?
Real Madrid, Napoli, and Juventus. That's what he was good.
Reece is not a big fan of Kane. We'll go on because he played today. He came on, didn't he? He was on the bench.
He came on. That must have been awkward.
Reece is saying, I wouldn't give a fiver for him. He was chilling in the Euros. Harry Kane, £8 max. £8.
£8.
Young
Kemi in a Pepsi Max, yeah.
Young Kemi used to capture and upload clips from Match of the Day at Stream Radio Derby online back in the 90s. Yeah, and he probably got raided by the police. Do you think Kane is good? Yeah, he's class. I'd say he's top. He's top 3 centre forwards in the world.
I know you had this discussion kind of the other week where you're saying, oh, is he world class or anyone like that? And everyone was saying, oh, because he hasn't won a trophy, he's not world class. And you kind of think, well, trophies are one thing. That just should be one variant of a world class player. But then also you've got big moments in games, which again he doesn't seem to do. But one thing that he is good at is consistency. There's not many players that can take 25 goals a season.
Yeah,
like
he's got
6 seasons on the bounce.
He's got the golden boots. How many golden boots has he got? 4. I think the only striker that's better than him is Lewandowski, and then I think he's the second best number 9 in the world.
Maybe Suarez. He's still pretty good.
Maybe Suarez, but
they're
Suarez
kind of a dying breed, though, aren't they? Because football's kind of evolved into a weird kind of
false 9.
Players got to play multiple positions these days, haven't they? They've got to be quite fluid, you know.
Yeah, England used to produce loads of those donkey strikers, didn't they? Yeah. You know, just big lads up front. Hold the ball up, Jeff. We'll whack it up to you. Emil Heskey, Marlon Harewood.
Marlon Harewood, yeah.
Loads of them. But there's not really Peter Crouch. I mean, he was quite different because he was quite a technical player.
But then England went through a time where they just had pace merchants as well. You know, like your Wright Phillips and I mean Jermaine Pennant was good, but then you had players
Was
like
he? Was he?
I mean, Jermaine Pennant was a good footballer. He's just mental, wasn't he? He was just a bit like off his head. He just couldn't, get himself together, could he?
I mean, do you think
he had a great cross on him?
Totally off the back to Kane though. Do you think Kane will go?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
the reason why is because Man City will just pay the money.
Yeah, and Man City are trying to make out as if they haven't got the money. And it's weird, though, that they played him today. Like, what happens if he got a really bad injury?
It's because Spurs are actually really good at negotiating exactly how much they want for their players.
Yeah.
And they always leave it late. Daniel Levy knows what he's doing. He knows he's going to sell him. But he wants to get as much money as possible. And he knows that City...
I tell you who would be a good replacement if he can get back to the form that he was on, and he would go, is that Jimenez at Wolves. He had a bad injury, didn't he? That would be quite a good replacement. Because he would definitely go. It would be an upgrade for him.
Yeah. Well, you've got to think about the roll-on effect with the fact that then Spurs have loads of money and Wolves will be like...
Yeah, you'd have to pay 50, 60 million. But like last season, you'd have had to pay that anyway. Because of his form.
Also, don't forget that Jimenez is 30 now, I think. So I don't know if you want to invest that much amount of money in a guy that you may get a couple of seasons. And he had that fractured skull injury as well. I'm not saying that he's going to be less of a player now, but you see what I'm saying? You don't know. Petr Cech was never the same, was he? I know it's different for goalkeepers, but...
But I mean, but a lot. Troy Keane was all right. What are these guys saying about Kane? Kane won't perform as people expect him to. Fair enough. He's saying about Kane. Fair enough, but in the Euros I thought he was chilling. Yeah, I didn't think he was very good in the Euros, but he still scored 4 goals, so what more do you want?
That's the thing with Harry Kane. I don't think he plays particularly well.
1 second, let me just get my water.
It's like Lewandowski. I don't think he's, he doesn't move around a lot. It's like old school Henry. He'd just kind of, sit around the halfway line, play with his laces, and then when the ball comes into a good position, he comes alive. It's those old school strikers.
However, Kane's dropped off a bit, hasn't he? Because he got the most assists last season, which was weird.
Yeah.
You've got good odds on that.
Spurs, Kane got 25, Son got about 18, and they finished 7th. How the hell?
They must be conceding a lot of goals.
Their defence must have been dreadful. How do you have those 2 goal scorers and finish 7th? You should be in a title race.
Didn't Spurs beat Man United 6-1?
Yeah, that was the same day that Liverpool lost 7-2 to Villa.
Yeah, that was a weird day of football.
Imagine having those 2 bets.
Bloody hell. That would be good. What you guys saying here? The most dynamic player I ever saw was Paulo Wanchop in his first season at Derby. He bamboozled everyone. Big up Paulie Wanchop. Big up Paulie Wanchop. Paulie, if you want to come on the show, let us know. Send us an email. I saw him when he was first subbed on and he was absolutely mesmerising. Smoke alarms, 12 quid for 2, or what, 2 for a tenner? 12 quid or 2 for a tenner? Well, we obviously have 2, won't we? Yeah. Why would we buy 1 for 12 quid? We'll have 2 for a tenner. So we've covered Spurs a little bit. I mean, who scored? Dele Alli. He's another one that might step up.
You don't know. He may get rejuvenated.
He was good.
They got 6 points on the board as well, which they'd take that. That's a tricky start though. City and then Wolves away. Was it Wolves away? Yeah.
Yeah, it's difficult to get 6 points and 2 clean sheets for Spurs, because obviously what you said, they scored all their goals last season. They had a bad defence last season.
Well, that's the thing with Spurs as well. There's so many question marks over them this season. Nuno wasn't actually the manager that they wanted. So
who was? Yeah, that was weird. The Spurs manager.
Conte, and then they went like Gattuso, and then I think they wanted to give it to the janitor in the end. Yeah,
but I think Nuno is a good appointment.
Yeah. I think he's great.
He's a good manager. He
deserves a better job because of what he did at Wolves. And he plays good football as well. It all depends if you can get that Kane money, though. Because they didn't really do a good job when they had the Bale money, did they? squandered that.
Well, the problem is they've got as well with Kane is if they do sell him, then later it goes to the deadline day, won't have many options either because who are they going to buy?
Andy Carroll for 80 million.
But obviously, you've seen the show where we talk about Barcelona. I still don't get what's going on. Why is there no news with Barcelona? Kemi Tiber likes his Barcelona news. He can look into it. What are you saying? It's genuine Chinese. Do your smoke alarms go off on weed? No, the weed friendly. How many do you want? Yeah, it's good. We're promoting business here on the channel. Well done. You know, got to make some money somehow. So Spurs, what do you think? Do you think they're gonna keep on like this, or do you think it's just like a bit of? Is it sustainable to win every game 1-0?
No, not really. They're not going to get top 4, but they could be the best of the rest. The thing is, if they do sell Kane, Son can move into that position. Son can become a better player maybe if Kane does move on. And then it also depends who they buy.
Man City can buy him then after that. That's what probably will happen. Oh, you got Son as well. Yeah, all right, we'll have him as well.
Nuno has been good. I mean, he purchased Jota, Neto, Neves, Moutinho. Granted, they're all Portuguese, but you know he seems to know a good player when he sees one.
Well, let's just go through the scores quickly. So let's just give you a full round of the scores. So it was Liverpool 2, Burnley 0, Villa 2, Newcastle 0, Palace 0, Brentford 0. Leeds 2, Everton 2. I need to catch the highlights of that. I thought we were going to do this together, but we don't want to get a strike on the channel. So that must have been a good game.
You see the Rafinha equaliser?
No, I've not. I need to see it. As I said, I want to watch the highlights of that. Man City 5, Norwich 0. So Norwich got Liverpool, then Man City. That's a bit hard, isn't it? I don't think though.
I think they've got Arsenal 4th game as well.
Well, that's all right then. They'll get 3 points.
So there's your 3 points that you can get on board there. I
guarantee you that will happen. I guarantee you Norwich will get their first points against Arsenal.
Might be a draw. I don't know if they'll get the win. It could.
But even a draw would be a poor result for Arsenal.
That would be a disaster. That would be bottom of the league.
Imagine if they get. Well, I remember one of them today. We'll watch Arsenal Fan TV in a bit. One of them today was saying, "Get Sam Allardyce in. Bring some stability to the club."
I think he'd do a better job. At least you know what you're getting with Allardyce. The problem is Arteta. I can't see what he's doing. I don't know what formation he plays. The goalkeeping situation doesn't even make any sense. Why has he signed Odegaard when he has Smith Rowe? Why has he signed Ramsdale when he's got Leno? He's signed a 30 million backup goalkeeper.
Yeah, but Leno's going to leave, isn't he? That's why. He's got a year left on his contract.
Go down.
No, he's got a year left on his contract, and I think he's already publicly stated that he wants to leave. So they wanted to replace him now, but they should have just replaced him next season. Well, like a Ramsdale, fucking have him. What are you still going on about smoke alarms? Sell Kane. We're going to sing Steve Bloomer's Watching one day, mate. Put him in West Ham. I hope Arsenal go down. We all do. Put Arsenal Fan TV on. We will do. Makes me creative. We'll definitely put on Arsenal Fan TV in a bit. You've watched a few of them. I've watched a few of them. I want to watch the delusional ones.
Did you watch the Julian guy?
Should we just crack on with Arsenal Fan TV? Or do you want to talk about Liverpool first?
You need to watch that one. Because he's like a Thai, but he kind of creates his own narratives. Thai just doesn't have a clue what's going on. He's like, I don't know how we lost. Yeah. But this Julian guy, he's like created his own reality.
Yeah, he's brilliant. He's like, I watched a great game. Well, we could start off with Lee Judges. Oh no, let's watch Thai. Thai sparks a big fan.
Oh yeah, they're at the stadium.
Should we watch Thai first?
It's not really about Thai. It's about this other bloke and it's just Ty trolling everyone. Is it
good? Ty's trolling everyone.
But you know what I mean? You know where Ty just kind of sets up something and it just leaves two people to argue?
Because we haven't got that like loads of time, so which ones do you think we should watch? Julian first. 102,000 views.
Him, yeah.
He's going to be a new star. This guy is so delusional.
It's pretty bad.
Dreaming of the perfect SEO tool?
Let's listen. So
looking for an
things he says. I was like, I don't even know if you're watching the game now.
This show is brought to you by Manscaped. Use the code AFTV for 20%.
I don't know. I don't know what he's doing here. You know what I mean? Well, I know what he's doing, but I don't want to think about it.
Just didn't turn up today, did we?
I still think completely opposite. I thought they did turn up. I thought the enthusiasm was excellent. The work rate was excellent.
You got the ball.
But what you had was two very, very good teams. The difference was Chelsea's owner, £1.3 billion investment into the team, Kroenke.
I don't think I
15
can hear
million.
it.
I'm not
Can't hear
criticising
it?
Kroenke for that.
No, I can't hear
but
the
I'm just stating the
AFTV.
facts. They pretty much
right.
went toe to toe with Chelsea. That first 15 minutes could have gone either way. It was a really, really exciting game.
I think
Then
the only
what
way I
happened?
can hear it is if I
Saka switched off.
unmute
I
the
don't want to
stream
criticise Saka too
on
much
Twitch.
because he's been fantastic. But it came down that side, Saka's side.
I've seen it
He was
anyway,
the one that
so you
supposed to
can
track him. Lost concentration for a split second, but at that kind of level, that's all it takes. And then they hit us with another one. Again, down that side. A split second. I didn't think it was a poor performance, but what you had...
Split seconds change. Yeah, but that's football, mate.
No, it is
You know what
football,
Robbie's thinking.
But what you've got to
Robbie's
appreciate,
like, get this
Chelsea,
done
and I
every week.
hate saying this,
Yeah.
are a very, very good team. I've got, if I was to tip a team other than Arsenal to win the league,
Just
it would be
dollars in his
Chelsea.
eyes.
Listen, we know that we're off.
If I was to tip a team
Did
for
you
Arsenal,
see
other
enough
than
today
Arsenal to win the league,
to
it would be
suggest to you
Chelsea.
that, you know what?
I know,
We're
it's
going to be
just-
all right this season.
Simple
I don't know where
answer
he
is
thinks
yes.
they're going to finish.
Where?
It's not,
Does he
it
think they're
wasn't
going to finish top
perfect.
4?
Absolutely not
Where did
He
perfect.
says they'll be all right.
Sambi Lokonga.
What does that mean?
If he carries
What, from
on
relegation?
like that, 15 years' time, I think there'll be a statue here with him. He was absolutely
Oh,
fantastic
he's
for a young boy.
He's already too
Excellent.
delusional for me. We got to. My brother can't hear the sound, so we're not going to bother with Arsenal Fan TV. He's already that delusional. Jesus Christ! Like, we'll be fine this season. Sambi Lokonga's going to have statues. It's like, I mean, he's not bad. He looked all right.
Yeah, but he was saying, oh yeah, if you're going to stay there for 15 years, it's like, if he's any good, mate, he'll be leaving at the end of the season.
Yeah, Man City will buy him, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Loads of their players used to go to Man City, but not anymore. Like, they used to just buy them all. They go like Adebayor, Clichy, Toure,
I know.
Nasri.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to, and then
they
Man
just went
United as
through-
well. Only Arsenal do that.
Well, they sell all their best players all the time, don't they?
Yeah, but to their rival clubs.
I don't know. I mean, obviously they did it with Sanchez as well. That didn't
Sanchez
work
and
out, but
Robin Van Persie.
Van Persie was a big one.
Yeah.
That was such a statement signing by Ferguson. It was just like, we'll have him and we're winning the league.
And he did.
Yeah, but there's just certain parts to Arsenal's history, probably since Abramovich came in, it's just been, Mourinho, they couldn't handle Mourinho when he first came in. At the end, Ferguson destroyed Arsenal, and they've just been banter since about 2013. Yeah, you've had your FA Cups, but as far as I'm concerned, they're not. I don't know where they're going in terms of their long-term future. I don't know how good it could get. How good do you reckon Arteta's going to, they're not even going to get top 4. That's the thing.
No, behave yourself. They're not going to get top 4.
No, I mean, like, even in the future. What I mean is,
I think they're a bit like.
If you think about long-term future, it's like, where's this going?
I think Arsenal are very, very similar to AC Milan.
Kind of.
Because AC Milan are never going to get back to the top. It's going to take them years to get back to that level they were at. Because they were one of the best in the world, weren't they, when they at that time? And so were Arsenal, like early thousands.
Well,
just 2000s, the noughties.
Yeah.
Then both of them teams were probably two of the best teams in the world. And
one of the big moments for AC Milan is when they sold Zlatan and Thiago Silva on basically the same day to PSG.
Oh yeah,
That was a big one where you thought, you don't usually do that.
Yeah,
I still think don't sell your best players, regardless.
Not
I know you
so.
always say, it's 200 million for Neymar, but Barca shouldn't have sold Neymar.
No,
It's a
Barca
status
shouldn't
thing.
have sold it. Neymar. No, I agree
No.
with you. I don't think they
But
should.
it's not the
Neymar
fact that it
must
was
have wanted
ridiculous
to
money.
leave.
It's a status to say, like, no, we decide when we want to sell our players.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't know why Neymar went. He's just wasted his career, isn't he? He's too old now as well to do anything. How old is he?
True.
28 or something? 29?
29, I think, yeah.
Yeah, it's like he's just wasted the best years of his life playing against Barnes.
The things with Neymar as well is I don't think you'd never know how good he could have been. That's the thing.
Go on then,
He
Seb.
is especially good, but
Here's a question for you. I want to ask
Go
Seb, who's your outside pick to finish top 4 on a long shot? Should we have a look at the odds? Is there anyone that you think? I mean, obviously, who's in the top 4 now? Man United, Man City, Liverpool,
I'm gonna
Chelsea.
go
We
for those.
expect
Yeah.
them 4 are
But
better.
Leicester look good. I think Leicester look good as a team.
Spurs,
And I think Rodgers knows exactly how to. He understands his team a lot better than Ollie. If I was expecting one team to fall out of the top 4, it would be United. Not because of the players, it's just because Ollie doesn't seem to tactically understand how to get the most out of his players. Whereas I think Rodgers knows how to do it. I know he's failed a couple of times with top 4, but if there is any team, it's probably Leicester.
If you actually, can you see these odds? Yeah, this is top 4 finish. So to get the top 4, Man City at 1.08. Bloody hell!
I think that Leicester.
So that's like
not Leicester.
if
I think
people
the Spurs
don't get
one may
that,
be a bit inflated though.
People don't get the
They've
odds
had a good
there.
start.
So on Man City, you pay £100 as your stake. For example, you'll win £8. So that's a given that Man City are going to get top. When was the last time Man City didn't get top 4? There's a question.
Wasn't it Spurs when Peter Crouch scored, like 2011?
Was that long ago?
It was that long ago. That's the problem with Man City. They don't fail, and even if they finish 4th, they'll just spend 200 million and then win the league the season after. So it's like there's no long-term failure at that club.
I don't think these odds are very good.
If they lose a final, they'll just go out. Like they lost the Champions League final, and they're going to spend like 200 million on 2 players and just basically win the Champions League this season. So it's like,
still didn't need Grealish. I mean, I said that.
They still don't need
Grealish.
Grealish. They don't need Kane, but they're going to buy them because they can.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
They make out as if they're poor as well, don't they? Like, I don't know if the finances are right. It's like we all know you're going to just give them the money.
With financial fair play as well. I don't know if Guardiola was talking about that. We're like, you don't know because based on our revenue, and it's like you give a damn about that. You're just going to do what you do, and then get fined, get banned from the Champions League, and then get yourself back in there.
They did. They did, didn't they?
Yeah, they got banned.
How does PSG get away with it?
Because it's probably because the people who own those football clubs have more power than UEFA.
Probably, yeah.
They got bigger wallets and they got bigger, they're bigger fish at the end of the day. So it's that thing of like, you can't tell me what to do.
So what his question there is, who's your long shot? I think some of these odds are bad. Like for a long shot, I think Leicester to get top 4, 5.4. That's shit odds in my book. I'd want better odds than Leicester to get top 4. Like that's such a difficult thing for them to do.
I would say Leicester because I really like Leicester because they've got a lot of players that I think could make it at top clubs. Like you go through that team and you think there's about 5, 6, maybe even 7 players that are worth more than 50 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a really well-balanced side. Rodgers knows what he's doing. I know you don't really like Rodgers too much, but he knows how to get the most out of that team. Vardy loves football. He's
the problem
is though
with Leicester. The problem is with Leicester is they got Europa League, haven't they? I don't think that's going to help them get top 4.
No, that's
Their
a good point.
squad's not that big.
But they could win the Europa League and therefore get Champions League. That still counts.
Who else is in it? It's Leicester, West Ham.
I think West Ham are in it, but they got to qualify. And then Spurs are in that Conference League, but they lost their first leg, didn't they?
What? Was this a new tournament?
Yeah, it's like this third European trophy.
But how are Spurs in that? Because they came 7th.
They came 7th, so it's one position.
Oh, it's like the Intertoto Cup or something like that.
It is a bit like that, but it's a bit... do Spurs even want to be on that?
Yeah, no, the Europa League's shit enough. You don't need another shit one.
The things with Europa League, it's very similar to the FA Cup, where I think you only start taking it serious if you reach the semi-final.
But at least with the Europa League, they know their shit. Whereas the FA Cup still think they're ballers, don't they? They still think they're we're the oldest club competition. It's like, yeah, but it's shit.
I think that with the FA Cup as well is the fact that it takes over a weekend. And if you've already been knocked out of the FA Cup, it's just a waste of a weekend. So Liverpool have been knocked out of the FA Cup numerous times in that third or fourth round. And if you got, let's say, Man United as usual Premier League fixtures, you can't play them because they're in the FA Cup. So there's no match to watch that weekend. And it's just annoying. Yeah. And then you've got games in hand as well, because obviously as it moves on. Yeah. And then the league is pointless because it's just the Man City Cup.
I'm sure we'll do a show on the FA Cup. I think Spurs are the first club to ever lose in every single different league now. Yeah, probably. That would be such a Spurs fact. So they'll lose in the Champions League. They'll lose in the Europa League. What's this thing called? The
Conference League or Cup or whatever. I mean, it sounds terrible.
Is it on Thursdays?
Yeah.
I
What if
hate
they play it on,
Thursdays
like,
for football.
Fridays?
I hate Thursday night football. It's just never good. Tuesday and Wednesday is lovely.
The problem that you got with Thursday night football is, I know Man United used to be in the Europa League and it used to be funny when they get knocked out, but it was Arsenal. Arsenal in the Europa League were just brilliant because you know they were going to lose. You know,
They were
I mean, it was good when they were in the
the
Champions League, but that was bloody ages ago.
Yeah, that was amazing. I think that was the best time. That's probably what made Arsenal Fan TV what it is. Their Champions League campaign.
But 10-2 on aggregate. 10-2.
10-2. Oh, we can't put it
We
on
moved to
this
this stadium to compete with Bayern.
Didn't Bayern beat him again?
I think they lost 5-1 the year before as well, so they technically lost 5-1 three times. So it's 15-3 on aggregate. Who loses 10-2 on aggregate?
Barca used to batter him as well.
But they used to give him a little bit glimmer of hope. Remember, I think it was Jack Wilshere that scored.
Yeah, they won 2-1. I remember.
In the semi-final, in the second leg, and then I think Messi scored a hat trick.
Yeah, 4-0.
Yeah, get out.
4-0. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is so. Like, you remember they were like when Wenger was in charge, and they're like, well, he always just gets his Champions League. Like, they're nowhere near the Champions League now.
Yeah. But you can't realise how good Wenger and Ferguson to a certain extent. You realise how good they were, what they could get out of those players, especially Wenger. You know, he had real crap to work with. And you realise now that, I mean, obviously Wenger depleted.
Maybe they get him back
with Chelsea, but I don't think he would have lost against Brentford in that first game.
Imagine if Arsenal Fan TV, if they sacked Arteta and brought back in Wenger.
Wenger wouldn't do that. Fuck that.
No, he wouldn't do that. He probably can't be bothered with it. I think he'll be like. I mean, Deschamps has been the manager for ages for France, isn't he? But you'd expect Wenger to eventually maybe be the French manager. It's the only the job I could see him doing.
He doesn't need to do that either. How old is he now? Like 72, 73?
Oh, is he that old?
Don't bother doing it. Yeah, I think he's like a pundit now on
I didn't realise
BN Sports or something. And it's just like, just enjoy it. It's like Ferguson. It's like, just don't get involved now. There's no point. You've done what you needed to do. There's nothing else he needs to do.
Wenger was a genius.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. The things with Wenger is he brought a different style of football to the Premier League as well, didn't he?
I think
as a Liverpool fan, it was always fun to watch Arsenal as well back in the day. Like, it genuinely was like fun to watch them. Even
I think that's the big difference between Ferguson and Wenger. Ferguson saw Man City coming, and they were just going to come and eat Man United's lunch, and he got out at the right time. Whereas Wenger didn't see Chelsea coming to eat Arsenal's lunch, and he pissed him out with them. I think when they sold Van Persie, that was the end of Arsenal. You know that old like he done all right. They done all right. Well, like the best team, obviously.
I think Wenger struggled with Mourinho. I think Ferguson did, but Ferguson eventually got the better of Mourinho. I don't think Wenger ever got. He couldn't get over the whole Abramovich, spending loads of money, Mourinho coming in saying I'm the special one, the arrogance of Mourinho and all this stuff. I don't think he handled that very well. And they still had a great team coming up to about 2008, 2009. But it was that kind of third rebuild. He started buying players that were good, but just didn't have that steel about them.
Yeah, they've always had that problem, haven't they? Which they didn't have. I'd say when they lost the Champions League final, after that, they were never the same.
Yeah. Well, also moving from Highbury as well.
They just lost a lot. They used to sell all their best players as well for like shit money, like Vieira for like 30 or something. Yeah, they just sell him.
Wenger had this kind of policy of once you turn 30, you're out the door. But the problem is he didn't have any overlap periods. So we bring in young players, but he had no older players that the young players could learn from. You've always got to have an overlap period where you've got a young player learning from an old player. And then when the old player moves, it's like the Ronaldinho and Messi. I think, that must have helped Messi. And he had about 3 or 4 years there. And then when Ronaldinho declined and moved to AC Milan, by 2007, 2008, then Messi came into his, you got that good overlap.
The main man, yeah.
Yeah, not saying Messi would have been crap without Ronaldinho, but you see what I'm saying? You've got to have that good conveyor belt overlap. Yeah. Something that Barca have lost.
Is it possible Wenger could come back? Yeah, obviously it's possible. The Emperor returns, maybe, but it'll just be funny, especially if he comes back and he just like Arsenal just look like a cursed club. So he just comes back and they do even worse.
No, what would be
get him
great
out.
is if he comes back and he gets some top 4 and they're like, getting the job permanently, and then all he does is just go back to his top 4 winning FA Cups again, and it's like a cycle.
You remember when they gave Pardew?
Oh yeah.
when Newcastle came like 5th and they gave Pardew like an 8-year deal or something. 8-year deal
contract.
He must have got
like
a fortune out of compensation. I think they sacked him the next year. Who gives a manager an 8-year deal in Premier League football?
Pardew as well. It wasn't like you were giving. I mean, 8 years is ridiculous. It's not like you're giving Pep an 8-year deal.
Yeah.
Remember
but let's crack on.
Upgrade?
Let's crack on to Liverpool because we haven't got that long left. Obviously, you're a Liverpool fan. Liverpool, I thought, just comprehensively better than Burnley yesterday. I think, weren't they?
I think Liverpool are getting to that point now where they don't need to get out of second gear to just beat teams. I've always known Liverpool to, even under the early days of Klopp, we always had to play 1,000-mile-an-hour football, work really hard, and we may win a game, but we'll always concede a goal, and we'll then we may be comfortable, and then we'll have to see the game out 2-1. We're not conceding goals at the moment. We're just easily seeing teams off. I know it's
strong bench
Norwich,
as well.
but in the early days of Klopp, or when it was under Benitez or Rodgers, it would always be, like a 4-2 or like a 3-2 Burnley, and you just kind of think, can't we just keep the drama? Get you 2 goals and just get you 3 points and move on.
If there was a problem though yesterday, that's a good bench to get shit done with.
Yeah, I said this to you. It's like we've got pretty much cover for every single position.
Why have they got 2 goalkeepers on the bench?
I don't know. I think it's just the thing. I think they just stick Adrian on there because he's a fucking jester. He's 3rd choice goalie now.
Yeah.
Behind Kelleher. But that is a good bench. There's a lot of options there.
A lot of options.
We do need one more winger though. But I think in terms of a Gini Wijnaldum replacement, I don't think we need him.
Well, you just give it to Harvey Elliott?
Give it to Harvey Elliott. You've got Keita coming back. You've got Ox as well. And you've got Curtis Jones. You've got 5 positions to fight for. That's the thing. And if you go with Fabinho, Henderson and Thiago as your midfield 3, who's your backup 3? Well, you're going to have Milner, Oxlade, Chamberlain, Keita, Jones, and Elliott. Am I missing anyone else? So you've got 5 players going for 3 reserve positions.
Yeah, they don't need centre mid. Unless they go out and get an amazing centre mid like Goretzka or someone like that.
But then the problem is, if you buy amazing centre mid, you're then stopping Jones and Elliott from getting game time.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy a centre mid. Winger, what do you mean?
I would say if you've got a good youth player, stick him in. Because at the end of the day, Elliott played great yesterday, and he's already worth about 30 million, as far as I'm concerned. I know that's overhyped, but it's one of those where you just think, if you can make him into a quality player, you've just saved yourself 60 million.
I mean, how much is Alexander-Arnold worth? He must be worth 150 million.
Yeah, and he's had a contract extension. This is the other thing as well, like by getting rid of Gini Wijnaldum, we freed up wages to give everyone else contract extensions. So Fabinho, Trent, Virgil and Alisson have all had contract extensions now. Salah, Mane and Robertson and Henderson are all going to get contract extensions as well. So it's not the fact that we're selling our players, we're actually extending our contract to keep our players. That was the problem with Liverpool as well in the past, is you'd usually get a player that had a great season and then they'd want to leave.
I tell you who would be a good signing, but I don't think they'll be able to sign him. But if you wanted a winger, it's that one that plays for Newcastle, San Maximum. If you could get him for like 40 million or something. Yeah,
he's good. I think he's okay. He doesn't seem to... He hasn't had that season yet, though, where I don't think he's really...
Yeah, but I didn't think Jota did either.
Yeah, good point.
And I mean, Mane was all right at Southampton. He wasn't like he is now.
No, yeah. Even Salah as well at Roma. Like, he had a good season, but I didn't realise he was that good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Firmino had a good season at Hoffenheim, didn't he? That's why they bought him.
I think he did, but again, it was Hoffenheim. So you kind of think, where were they when we bought them?
That left back's got a lot of money cross as well. How do you say his name? Tsimikas, yeah. Tsimikas.
Yeah, he's very good.
He's a very good cross on him.
Again, he's one of those where he's took his chance. I think he had a great cross in him, but his work rate as well. He got his foot stuck in there. He listened to Virgil van Dijk because he got Van Dijk right next to him as well.
Yeah.
That's got to help you. But he didn't seem to make any mistakes. He's still going in terms
I think Liverpool
of
have got
getting his
everything.
fitness up.
Liverpool have got everything they need to win this league. They got 4 good centre backs. Matip,
I still
Van
think we need a
Dijk.
goal scoring winger though.
Got Jota.
Yeah, but I think we need another one because the thing is we're going to lose Salah and Mane in the African Cup of Nations. That's the problem. And Jota, Firmino are going to be fine, but our other backup winger is Minamino, who's okay, but he hasn't really settled very well, and he could be sold. And we haven't got Shaqiri; he's left for Lyon.
So who would you like them to move for?
I mean, you talk about Saint Maximum, but you got like Pedro Neto from Wolves. You got Doku. I want these type of players where we can mold them and they can be, don't
like
buy
Salah
an
and
Mbappe
Mane?
because
Salah and Mane, basically.
I want to have a player that kind of comes in, works their way into the team, and becomes quality because we've developed them. Not just buy an Mbappe, break your wage structure, and then he wants to play every single game.
Yeah.
I want to buy someone similar to Jota.
What's he saying?
This guy could be good. He could be
saying?
A Salah replacement.
Very entertaining. Thanks, good guys. Good night. Good night, Reese. Thanks for watching.
Reese.
The return of the Rooney derby's going up. We're going to win the cup. We don't shag Rams. The rumours aren't true. Our club's not for sale. The Taliban can forget. The rumours aren't true. Our club is not for sale. Our arse is on the line, but Rooney's in charge. And Rooney's in charge. Is this like a song? This must be a song.
Yeah, this sounds like a song.
Rooney's in charge.
He's whistling there as well.
Yeah, and then you've put like an emoji. Yeah, I think it must be a song.
Like he's whistling.
Maybe we'll sing that. You can sing that on the show next time, Kemi Tab, if you want to come on. But yeah, what do you fancy Liverpool? So Liverpool just need a winger.
Because
we've
got enough cover at centre backs as well.
Or a striker.
Like I said, Liverpool don't play a striker. They played Jota there in the number 9 position. He gets a goal.
Where's Divock?
Sing it. There you go.
Where's Divock?
Divock Origi. He's getting sold.
Why? He's fucking ledge.
Yeah, but the problem is, he's just not going to get game time. That's the problem with Jota there now. I think he's just kind of spent a little bit too long there.
However, you'll get good money for him. I think you get like 25, 30 million.
About how much?
I would expect him to be worth 25, 30 million.
Maybe.
If he's got a normal contract.
I don't know in this market though. That's the thing.
Yeah. All of the lower Premier League clubs would want someone like that. You're
selling to lower Premier League or European leagues. I think if you're selling to someone like a big club, they could probably afford them. But with a market as it is now, I think it could be quite difficult to sell players.
I suppose a lot of these smaller clubs are not even buying any players, are they? I mean, Arsenal have spent quite a lot of money, haven't they?
Yeah, but you look at Arsenal, they're trying to sell players and they can't get rid of them. Man United are trying to sell players and can't get rid of them. Chelsea do it for some reason. Like they can do it. I don't know how Chelsea do it.
Chelsea got tons of
Liverpool
players.
Liverpool are all right, though. Liverpool have actually sold 30 million worth of players this summer and brought in Konate for 35. So we've only spent about 5 million.
That's very good.
I mean, we sold Harry Wilson to Fulham for 12 mil.
Yeah, but he'll be good there. I expect.
He will be good.
Oh no, not Fulham. I thought it was what's his name? Parker's left Fulham to go to Bournemouth, didn't he? So,
yeah, who's the Fulham manager?
Don't know. Find out. Well, who cares?
Oh no, it's that. Yeah. Who cares?
Fulham,
it's that Portuguese guy.
Oh yeah, it's the one that gets a job everywhere. He's a good talker. He should do like Marco Silva's
brother.
Marco Silva's interviews on YouTube. Like, this is how you get a job. Like, he keeps getting jobs everywhere.
Yeah. He knows what he's doing.
But yeah, I mean, I thought it was quite a good week of football. Let's just quickly finish off with what's on next week, because we'll do the same next Sunday. We'll do this every Sunday where I'll just review it. But it's a shame. Obviously, I didn't think you could probably show highlights even though it's on YouTube. I don't know. Maybe you can. I'll have a look into it.
I think because the clubs pay for the privilege. That's the thing.
Exactly. Like, that's where all the money comes
So I don't think it's free.
They don't want idiots like us on the James Rich Show just giving it out to people. You got
because they want the traffic to go to their YouTube page.
Yeah. I mean, maybe if we put like a link out or something. I don't know. But next week you've got on. Oh wait, yeah. I was wondering who did Leicester play. That's not bad. That's a good game
West
tomorrow.
Ham, Leicester, yeah, that'll be a good game.
It's normally they put garbage on Mondays, don't they? But that's quite a good game, West Ham, Leicester.
Oh yeah, the Saturday night game. What was it? Brighton
versus Watford. Brighton have won.
No one watched that apart from Brighton and Watford fans.
And I bet you half of them fans didn't even bother to watch that.
Although Brighton, they've got 6 points now, haven't they?
You know what?
Back-to-back
I don't
wins.
know why this annoys me, but it does. You know, on Arsenal Fan TV and all the people on that.
Right.
Obviously now they go to the Emirates, right? Why do they do that?
Yeah.
Fucking supporting that like, obviously they support their club and they love watching
because
Arsenal.
when push comes to shove, they don't want to do it. Like, you know, when you have this kind of, it's just surface level. Yeah, I want Kroenke out, but I'm not going to do anything about it.
No, but it's like you miss it though, don't you? You miss all their reactions to the game, which used to be funny. You know, like that was quite good in the lockdown where you'd watch them lot watching the game and Ty would be like arguing with DT and stuff.
Where's DT as well? I haven't seen him.
Yeah, where is
I don't know
DT?
what's going on there?
Troops is over.
Maybe he's just
America,
given up.
isn't it? Probably, he's just given up on Arsenal.
Yeah. I mean, what do you expect as well for Arsenal? What's the best that's going to happen? You're going to finish 8th this season. It's like,
What's the worst that's going to happen?
Worst is going to happen. They're not going to get relegated. They've got too much quality to come back. That's the other thing. They do have a lot of injuries. Yeah, like Thomas Partey's out, Gabriel's out.
Yeah, but Thomas Partey, you can never say he's really... I mean, he was brilliant at Atletico Madrid, but he's never really...
Yeah, but he'll improve the team. I'm not saying he'll improve it enough to actually beat Chelsea, but they're going to get points on the board. But they could finish... They could finish like 12th or something like that. It could be bad.
Yeah, I
but they're not going to be...
I could see him finishing like 15th or something.
Nah, I don't know if there's a big difference between 12th and 15th.
Yeah, no, but just
all I'm saying
mid-table.
is I don't think it's going to be 17th on 40 points.
That would be funny. What's Kemi Tiber saying? Sorry, lads, I just went off on one there. Writing a musical in my head. Leicester tomorrow night. Good game. Best of the game of the season so far for me is still Brentford Arsenal.
Yeah, I missed that game. But then again, I wasn't surprised. Once I saw it being 2-0, I was thinking, yeah, that's kind of an Arsenal thing to do. Like Brentford would have been up for it, and I think Arsenal were just hoping that Brentford wouldn't be up for it.
Yeah,
that's it. I don't. This is the other thing that I saw today is I know Chelsea are better than Arsenal. I know Arsenal got loads of injuries. I don't know what Arteta was thinking today. I don't know what his plan was to win the game. I don't tactically.
Same for the first game.
The way I saw it is, why didn't he play 5 at the back, park the bus, and do the counter attack with Saka and Martinelli? Get pace on there on the counter attack. But he didn't. He played like a flat back 4 with Mari and Holding in there, like 2 terrible centre backs with the Lukaku. It's like, why didn't you put 3 centre backs? Just have an insurance policy. But he didn't do that.
Mari, where did they get him from?
I don't know, but he's garbage.
Worst finish possible for Arsenal will probably be 14th. Yeah, I said that, 14th. So I think it will be something like that. We're just a bus stop in Hounslow. Haha, I love their song. You're talking about Brentford, you must be. But Arsenal's the first game of the match week 3. With match week 3, Arsenal are going to get battered against Man City away. Yeah, so them Arsenal fans are not going to have a good weekend. You're like, you fucking ruined my weekend already. It's only lunchtime on Saturday.
So that's the good thing. I mean, Liverpool played on lunchtime yesterday, and it's just a great thing. You win your game, and you just get your 3 points in the bag, and you think, all right, everyone else play.
Yeah, it's perfect.
I know Man City have Norwich, but they still got to play, haven't they?
But Man City are going to do
Man
that
United
against Arsenal, aren't they? Because
that's I don't know if Man United have improved though.
From last season. Oh, we did speak about Man United, but
yeah,
I think players-wise they're amazing.
Still got points.
I think they got the players. But they just don't know what they're doing, do they?
I think they've got a great first 11, but I don't know if they've got a great bench, Man United. Maybe attacking-wise, but midfield-wise, the midfield's a bit light in terms of quality.
It shouldn't be, though, the amount of money they spent. Jesus Christ. How much was Fred?
When was the last... They don't play Van der Beek. Fred was 50 million.
Matic was 50 million, wasn't he?
I think, he was about 40, 45, yeah. But again, they're not good players. McTominay's okay, but he's not...
Yeah. They need someone like Kante,
if McTominay played for Newcastle, you'd be like, yeah, solid player. Like John Joe Shelby, like good player. But...
Yeah, he's not.
Man United, really? Yeah. Is he that good?
He could be like Liverpool's Henderson, though. I can see him.
He could have a good redemption. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I think there's a good player in there. But Ollie is not going to make him into a good player. I think he needs a good coach.
No.
McTominay.
I think Mourinho was probably quite good for him.
Maybe. But yeah.
So that's what
I
we've got
think
next
United
week.
will have. I think they'll get top 4 United, but I think that's it.
Yeah,
Could get a trophy, but
right, we're going to call it a day now, actually, because we're finished about an hour and 5. Is there anything else you want to add?
nah. I think that was just that was a good weekend of football.
Yeah, it was
the Leeds
good.
game was good as well.
Yeah, we didn't
It's
get
good that
time.
Leeds got at least a point out of that, because if they would have had back-to-back defeats there, I'm not saying there would have been questions asked, but you want to get your first points on the board, and that's a tricky start for them.
I mean, let's just quickly go on Arsenal, because the
United,
longer it goes on for Arsenal, the worse it's going to get, you know?
Yeah.
Because who have they got recent meet? Look at this. When was the last time Arsenal beat? I mean, they haven't scored in the last 4 games.
No, they haven't scored.
No, against Man City. Look at that.
Bloody hell. Well, they haven't scored anyway this season, and then they got Man City next, so they're not going to score there. So they haven't scored a goal. Aubameyang hasn't scored a goal in pre-season either.
I mean, they didn't. The worst thing is as well. Like I didn't watch the Arsenal Chelsea game. Like I watched most of it. There was some parts that I went out. But
Chelsea went 2-0 up and went, all right, that's done. They're not going to fight back.
Yeah, but Arsenal didn't even have a chance.
Yeah, but it was like it was like a cat playing with a mouse.
Yeah,
it was just like the cat could have killed the mouse at any time, and at 2-0 there was a glimmer of hope. But I think if Chelsea wanted to take them to the cleaners, they could have easily done that. That wasn't even a good Chelsea performance. I think they didn't even break a sweat.
Well, I thought Chelsea. I mean, the problem is with Arsenal though is they're not even creating chances. They're not doing anything. They're garbage.
No. Well, their best player who gets all the goals doesn't seem to be getting goals. Aubameyang.
I mean, they've got quite an easy run here in October. They should be able to get themselves sorted in October. So you'd expect them here to lose that, then just win that.
I don't know.
Maybe lose
but
that.
They lost against Brentford. That's the problem.
Yeah.
They lost against Brentford, and you think, well, if you're losing to them, and the fact they didn't even score against them.
This game is vital. Norwich at home.
Imagine if they lose that.
Because they might not beat Burnley away because they're Arsenal and they're Burnley. And Burnley probably.
Oh, they've got West Brom in the Carabao Cup as well in the week. That's a tricky one. That's at the Hawthorns as well.
That is actually because Arsenal is one of the only trophies they can win. Is that? So
that must be one of the hardest fixtures you could get, like a top Championship side. The problem is West Brom may just not want the Carabao Cup, but he's going to play loads of youngsters, so I can see them losing that.
Maybe. Cheers, James. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, mate.
Cheers, James and Seb. It was a nice evening. Have a good night all. Yeah, thanks, Kemi Tiber. Thanks.
See you later.
Why do you both wear hats? Seb's not wearing a hat.
No, this is my hair.
So, yeah, all right, let's call it an evening. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll do the same thing next Sunday. We'll review match week 3. But obviously, our shows will be back on Tuesday and Thursday. Follow us on Twitter at James Rich Show and the other social medias. Have a nice evening. Thanks a lot, Seb. Anything final words to you?
Nah, just enjoy the Arsenal performances because they're hilarious.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, we're going to have an even funnier one next week. So, thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
See you later.